and until March 5th, I'll be working at NMC, and then I'm going full-time into my private practice and consulting business, mental wellness counseling and practice. So it's an exciting move for me. So today we're going to be talking about social media, and I know that we are probably all over the map in regards to our own abilities. So there are no questions that are too novice, and there may be questions that are too advanced. So if I don't know it, I won't make it up. I'll let you know and try to find an answer and maybe email you. So let me tell you what you can expect. So probably for the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be presenting on social media. We're going to talk about kind of the primary social media platforms. I'm going to give you a few examples. For those of you that aren't familiar with those platforms, I'm going to talk about kind of some of the essential things that we need to know about those platforms. We're going to talk about how best to use those platforms and how to engage an audience for your goals on those platforms. Throughout all of this, if I say something that you don't know what it means, feel free to just raise your hand and say, I don't know what a hashtag is, and that's okay. Because I want you to leave here knowing more than what you know right now, even if you feel like you're an amateur or you're pretty advanced when it comes to social media. So why should we care about social media? Tell me what you think. Why are you here today? Why should we care? Networking, okay. Why else?
Being able to talk to kids that are younger than 50.
Okay, so talking to younger people.
Because there's no way around it.
There's no way around it, yeah.
To be successful and effective anymore, you have to use this.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a great point, Ryan, because we live in a time now where marketing is free. And, things that even 20 years ago we would have had to pay for to engage an audience, we can do for free. So for nonprofits and agencies and people that want to help change the world, there's never been a better time. And social media really is one of those platforms, if not the platform to do that. So let's talk about a little bit of research. So in that idea of engaging younger people, I think it's really important to know what are some of the younger people doing right now, because these are going to be the leaders in 20 years or so, or even sooner than that. We see these multimillionaires at age 22 because they started some website. So if we look at 12 to 17-year-olds, 91% of them are posting selfies. 24% of them are posting videos. 91% of them are sharing their real name. 60% state their relationship status, 82% list their birthday, 71% share where they live and go to school, 53% post their email address, and 20% post their cell phone number. And so in regards to what's kind of private, we can see that there's not a lot of that with this coming generation, that kind of everything about themselves is out there. And so that's important to note. I think also understanding what audience you're trying to engage. And so with social media, it's really important to ask yourself, what am I trying to do here? Because if you're just putting all sorts of random things up on your Facebook page and wondering why nobody's engaging and you don't have a plan, or if you're on LinkedIn just posting pictures of puppies, there's certain cultures within each of these social media platforms that if you don't respect those cultures in the same way at the beginning, your LinkedIn conversation, if you were showing pictures of your new dog, within that conversation, that wasn't appropriate. In the same way on LinkedIn, if you're posting all this personal stuff that's just kind of like what you're doing for fun that isn't related to business, it doesn't make you look very good either as an agency or as an individual. And so you need to know what your goals are. And part of that is identifying who's your target audience. Are you trying to engage donors? Are you trying to engage awareness? Do you want volunteers? Are those volunteers college students or are they retired people? So you're going to determine which platforms you put the most energy into based on those demographics. So if we look at this, Mashable put this together, and so we look at Twitter, it tends to skew more young. Even Twitter, a lot of the youngest folks have moved away from that. So email is like for their grandparents, Facebook is for their parents, Twitter is for some of those older college students that I don't really care about, and so I'm going to move to Kik, Snapchat, Ask.fm, those sorts of things. So even the youngest are moving away from these kind of core types of things because the parents don't know about it, and then they can, do what they want. So then we see Facebook. And the colors are a little off on this screen, but that's the middle one. And so that kind of really starts to peak between ages 25 and 54. But we do see that the demographic is really growing kind of on the older side, to see pictures of your grandkids, great-grandkids. My grandma, before she passed away, was the first person that I knew over 60 that was on Facebook, and she was rocking it out. She was thumbs-upping and commenting on everything. and spreading her own political agenda. And then we see LinkedIn. So a couple of stats. The average Facebook user makes around $30,000 a year, whereas the average LinkedIn user makes around $110,000 a year. So if you're trying to engage donors, just having that information alone means you should probably put a little effort into LinkedIn over Facebook. So I'm going to go through just kind of a little bit of the origins of each of these platforms. So we have Facebook. It was founded in 2004. There's 1 billion active users as of December 2012, so obviously that has gone up significantly. 20% of all page views, so like if everyone in the United States is on their surfing the web, a fifth of those are going to be on Facebook. And so we know that Google and YouTube are the top number 1 and 2, and then we see Facebook right behind that. So a bulk of all page views is on Facebook. So when you're posting things on there, if you're looking from an agency perspective, people are posting things on there about their friends, about their family. They're on there to socialize. It's the end of the day. I just want to kind of zone out and see what my college roommate is doing, in Thailand this summer while she's rock climbing and whatever. They're on there for that. So hard pitches don't go over very well because that's not the culture of Facebook. The culture of Facebook is friends, family, things I believe in, things I care about. And so when you're posting on there, if you're doing a direct pitch where you're saying, hey, we're doing this, Super Saturday special, that's not going to go over as well as, finding a video that really captures people's feelings towards people that are in poverty and then linking to it, something that's highly shareable. So using photos with links usually do best. So say Goodwill, they have a goal of they want to get more donations here. And they don't want just clothing donations. They want to get cars donated, or they want cooking supplies, or whatever their big donation goals are. They're going to want to post Facebook photos that have their brand on it. They want to have that watermark in the corner. They want to have it be so that if that's shared, it's not just a picture of a used car saying, well, where did this come from? But it always ties back to them. You want short, engaging content with a single call to action. So when I consult with people, and my primary consulting is around people in private practice, they have so many things going on in their Facebook posts. What do you think of this picture? And I have this new thing going on, and make sure you like it and comment. People want one call to action. And then you can track how well you're doing things. So if that's a thumbs up, if that's a comment, if that's a go to this website, identify what your call to action is. Use questions and ask for tags, link to things specific and related, but don't repeat content. So this is a platform that you're not going to put out there, come to the Saturday special 15 times on that Saturday or in that week leading up to it. You can promote it, but do it different every single time. So recently, in the last year, Facebook changed their algorithm as to how they decide to display content. And so say Goodwill has 1,000 people that like them on their Facebook page. They're not going to all see something when when Goodwill posts something. All 1,000 people won't see that. Facebook only allows around 15 to 20% of your audience to see it unless you pay. And so that's a way that they make money. There's a way around that. If your audience is thumbs upping, if they're engaging, if they're commenting, Facebook says, oh, these people care about what's in their news feed. Because what was happening is people thumbs up something 15 years ago or 10 years ago when they first started on Facebook, and they kept getting this content that they didn't care about. And so they're trying to figure out in Facebook world, how are the things going? What do people like? What are people engaging with? And the more that you have your audience engaging with that content, the more Facebook says, oh, okay, people do care about Goodwill still. So even something like a quick yes and no question, like have you donated any clothes this year? Yes or no? Or what's the ugliest item that you want to get rid of? We'll take it. Post a funny picture of it. Those kind of things then show Facebook that your audience cares about what you're posting. So then they're going to actually show it to them. So Twitter launched in March 2006. There's 100 million users in the US, 500 million worldwide. They really started the whole kind of hashtag thing. Hashtag is that pound sign. Some people go hashtag. I saw a conversation in the corner about Jimmy Fallon that was hilarious. There's a great video out there. If you just type in hashtag, it'll be the first video that comes up. But a hashtag is basically saying this is a keyword. So if you wanted to find out what are people saying about Goodwill worldwide, you go on there and you type in Goodwill. Anyone that has hashtag Goodwill or hashtag donation or hashtag 2015 goals, you're going to see all the people that have posted that hashtag. So it's kind of a way to search for keywords. Good tweets often use hashtags for humor. There's sort of a play on words. It tends to be a more witty audience. And so if you're just promoting, people just don't care about that. They're on there to socialize. They're on there to market themselves. They're on there to learn. And so you want to make sure that you take that time to make your content stand out. And there's a number of hashtags that are pretty common hashtags. So for example, pro tip. That's one that people that are teaching like online courses, they use a lot because here's like a pro tip around X, Y, or Z. And a way to really kind of get some more exposure on Twitter is doing something called TRENDJACKIng. And so last Tuesday was the State of the Union. So SOTU, hashtag SOTU, so State of the Union, was trending worldwide. And so there was another hashtag that was going around, State of the Union in 3 words. And so people put like hashtag more executive orders or stop talking Obama or whatever it was that was their 3 words for the State of the Union. So that's already trending. That's already doing well. Maybe you don't care about the State of the Union or do you want to weigh in on politics, but you might say the hashtag State of the Union at Goodwill is that we need some more donations. And so that's a way to kind of frame what already is popular and spin it towards what you're looking at. So for example, on May 4th, that's May the 4th, and it's known as International Star Wars Day, such as May the 4th be with you. I used the hashtag International Star Wars Day and said, if Han Solo came to therapy, I would probably work on his lack of attachment. Or if Chewbacca came to therapy on International Star Wars Day, I'd refer him to a speech pathologist. So things like that then people are like, oh, that's really funny. And it's not just come to my counseling practice. It's using what's already going on. So this is what Twitter looks like. On the left side, that's a screenshot. Right, this is one screenshot of what it looks like. The left side, you see how many followers you have. This was a few months ago. Then in the middle, you have tweets of people that you're following. People can follow you without you following them back. And then on the right, it has people that are either being promoted, so they're paying to have you follow them. And then there's people that they're just saying, based on the people you like, maybe there's this. So at that time, some of the trends were kick off the new year. So I think this was like in December or so that I had done this screenshot. You can also discover trends that are going on. I'm going to quickly talk about Instagram. I don't think that Instagram right now is going to be the best use of your time unless you're trying to engage a teenager audience. Instagram is probably one of the leading kind of teen, right now teenagers are really there. There's a lot of younger people there that are there. It was founded in October 2010. There's 130 million users. And so it's sort of like Twitter with pictures that are really pretty. If you've seen those kind of prettier pictures that have like a sepia tone, you can change what your pictures look like. Facebook bought them in April of 2012 for $1 billion. So they obviously see that there's a market there. But in the interest of time, let me just show you what that looks like. So on the left side, it's entirely mobile. You can't upload from your desktop in Instagram. But this guy, Gary V, you can't quite tell, he has this thing called winelibrary.com. And so he posts pictures of wine all the time. And then the next one over is Explore, and they just kind of say, here's things that you might like. And then this is what it looks like when you're uploading pictures. So it's nice that you can't see my dirty mustache there, but I had this really kind of ugly mustache and took a funny picture with my daughter. And you post it, you can put it also on Twitter and Facebook directly from there. Now Pinterest, on the other hand, I think is definitely a great use of your time. Recently I looked at where I was getting my traffic for both my consulting practice and my private practice, and I found that Pinterest was actually outranking Facebook for referrals to my website. And the reason why is when people are on Pinterest, they are in more of a buying mindset than on any other social media platform. We know that 68% of the users are women, and of those 68%, 50% of those are moms. And so the most popular things on there are going to be more kind of family-friendly type things. And so garlic cheese bread is the most repinned thing. So you can trend jack that if you want. But the way it works is is you have your different boards. If you kind of think of it in real life, you have a cork board over here. I'm going to pin all the things that I want to do for my basement project, and then over here I've got all these other ideas of maybe meals I want to make, and garlic bread's on there. And so I have things, just funny things that I saw, home, art projects. I have an angry kids and frustrated parents one. I'm starting a private practice. We're designing our basement. And, the things you pin on there are usually more like dream items, more than what you can actually afford. But people are in that mindset of, wow, what could the future be? Wow, all these things that are beyond what I can pay for. But think about that from a nonprofit or a mentoring standpoint of how do you engage people and say, well, how can I make the world a better place? If people are in that mindset of I want to take action through buying, they may also want to take action in volunteering and getting engaged in helping the world in a better place, in a better way. So a few things that I've added since I took this screenshot. So I have at the bottom there things to do after therapy. So I'll have things on there like I'll pin, a massage or some green tea or things like that. So it's going kind of beyond just what you're already talking about. This is what the main screen looks like on Pinterest. Effective ways to engage on Pinterest is to make sure you have your brand, again, watermarked on those and having a single call to action. So most of these don't have a call to action. The ones that tend to get more traffic that goes back to a website have something like this new photo pack. So I'm guessing that's probably has to do with Photoshop. They may have some free photos that you can download, and then from there they can get customers. So calls to action are going to most help you on Pinterest. I'm going to skip over Tumblr because right now I think that's not going to help you the most. So I want to make sure that we have some time to talk about your unique needs, because I wanted to just quickly say here's all kind of the things that are going on, here's some of the best practices, but I want you to be able to say here's our Facebook page, what should we do? So what can we learn from social media that applies to mentoring? Well, good design always does better in all of these platforms. So taking the time to either have someone do the design, learn yourself how to do good design, finding photos that are pretty. Flickr.com/Creative Commons, people post all these photos that are beautiful that they're saying you can use these, please just give me credit somewhere. And so you may give credit on your website and then use that in some social media promotion. I think that change is just expected now, whether that's on social media or in how we work with our mentors. I know in working with mentors at NMC, they are very fluid in their ability to commit. And so understanding that really is a major mindset shift, even in regards to job roles. Engagement is something we can definitely learn from social media. That engagement, getting people to engage, getting people to thumbs up, comment, that even if it's online, that actually means a lot because it's just an extension of what's already going on offline. And then lastly is speed. Nonprofits are notorious for being slow to change and adapt and start implementing the things that like the business world does overnight because they have big budgets to just hire someone to do it. But we need to speed up our ability to meet people's needs. So all of this, whether it's your website marketing, comes down to does your target audience trust you? And you build trust by engaging with them in a way that's authentic. If you're just out there promoting all the things you do, they're not going to trust you. They don't get to know you. Over and over we hear that in marketing, especially in nonprofits and donation-based organizations, when people hear the story of the people that have been there, when they hear, here's the type of people that come, here's the type of people that are being affected, even if it's in statistics, those stories build trust, they build connections so that those people keep coming back to your social media. And really, just remember that there's no one like you. So often I hear, there's a million Facebook pages, why would I spend the time to do it again? Well, there's very unique ways to stand out. I think of Traverse City 911. I don't know, how many of you follow them on Facebook? If not, you could learn a lot from them because they are hilarious. And this is 911 we're talking about. And so they'll say, there's a man that is on the side of the road by Meyer that is teaching people how to do the Running Man. He appears to be inebriated. The police are on their way. But if you want, ways to dance from the 1990s, feel free to look out your right window if you're headed by Meyer. Or a flock of geese are, by the open space and have slowed down traffic. Please smile at them and make geese noises. But what happens is by doing this hilarious kind of commenting on what's going on, is that people are sharing, they're thumbs upping, they're engaging. So when they have an actual emergency, then it actually shows up on people's feeds. And so they've found a way to be very unique within their subsector. And you as well kind of need to find what's your unique way of putting yourself out there. So the central questions as we enter into a time of looking at your social media is what's your plan? So which network from what I quickly just went through makes the most sense for you? Which audience is going to be kind of the audience that you want to engage? And maybe you don't know this. Maybe you're saying, I don't even know. And we can brainstorm that. And then what are you going to post on that? And how can you schedule that out so that it's not every day that you're spending an hour on this trying to engage, but there's a lot of ways you can automate this, and we can talk about how you do that as well. So I want to leave at least kind of 10 minutes for us to talk about your social media. I've got my Wi-Fi hooked up so we can look at your pages. So where should we start?
Could you go back to, well, it was flickr.com/common what?
Yeah, it's flickr.com/Creative Commons.
Oh, Creative.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you just Google Creative Commons too, so like there's a website called Jamando, which has Creative Commons music. So with all the videos that I make or my podcast, I get music from there and then just give credit to the artist, and I don't have to worry about getting sued. So it's good to not get sued.
And how do you give them credit? Where do you do that at?
So in my podcast, at the end, I just say special thanks to the bands, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. We love your music. Thanks a lot for letting us use it. If you have a video, so like I had one that was about how to start a private practice. At the end of it, I just said music by so-and-so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually want to know what your thoughts are on doing time posting, like scheduled posting. We've been doing a lot of scheduled posting at Single Mom, and it just doesn't go over as well as live posting.
Yeah. Well, and
Is
so
there
people
any-
know, you said we know. I think that's a great thing that you know that it's not working as well.
Right.
So maybe explain how you know that it's not working.
I mean, you can see when